And it's Wellness Wednesday, maybe a good day to get outside and exercise since it's going to be rain-free. And every Wednesday, we're bringing you tips on how to live a healthier lifestyle. Our Lena Pringle is joining us live this morning to tell us about endurance and triathlon training. Lena, this sounds intense. Good morning.
Good morning, Candace. I think most of the time when people might hear the word triathlon, they might think intensity, but today we're going to let you know all things that you need to know about triathlon training. This morning we're at Still Hope's Wellness Center, and I'm joined with Stephanie Cain, who is a triathlon coach here and the business owner of Cain Coaching, to tell us a little bit more about what she does here. So good morning, Stephanie. Okay, so first tell us, what exactly do you do here at Still Hope's Wellness Center, and tell us more about your business, Cain Coaching.
So I am a triathlon coach. I coach out of Still Hopes. I used to work here, and that's how this whole thing got started. We started a triathlon team of all adults 55 and up, and it was so big and so popular that eventually I made it my full-time job and opened Cain Coaching so that I could coach more athletes. So Still Hopes is still our premier triathlon team sponsor, and they let us use all of their facilities. They have just been fantastic. So they're our premier sponsor, and they have the best facilities in town. They really do.
And so obviously when people hear the word triathlon, sometimes some people may be slightly intimidated. So tell us, what exactly is a triathlon and what goes into it?
Well, there are many distances. So basically a triathlon is swimming, cycling, or biking, and running. It goes all the way from a sprint triathlon up to an Ironman distance triathlon, and there are plenty of distances in between. So it's an endurance sport no matter what distance you do, but they're all just a little bit different, and just depending on how much you want to get into when you get started, you can pick a distance and go.
See, I think that's helpful for people to know that it's various distances and various activities, and it's not just one set type of triathlon. So what do you think are some of the misconceptions that people might have about that particular type of racing?
I think they think it's impossible. I could never do that. I have people tell me all the time, I could never do what you do. I could never do what your athletes do. And the bottom line is you can. It's swimming, very low impact. You just have to work on your form. Cycling, also very low impact, and just basically building endurance, and running. But the real thing about running is you don't have to run. You can run, you can speed walk. I have coached athletes in speed walking, and that's how they've completed their triathlons. Some people also just think you have to do all three, and you don't. You could do a relay. If it's a sport that you want to get into, we can make it happen. Now, too, they have aqua bike distances, so you just do swim bike. So if you have bad knees, you can still go do a triathlon. And so there's really something for everyone in this sport, whether you feel like you can run or not run, you can do a triathlon.
And obviously you're throwing around the term you can a lot, and so you here actually train people to believe in themselves. So tell us about some of the training that you do to help get those athletes ready for the triathlons.
Well, it's a lot of physical training, as you might imagine, swimming, cycling, running. I also incorporate strength and flexibility training, but it's also a lot of mental skills training. There's a lot of hurdles to overcome. Doing a triathlon is something everyone can do, but it's not easy. Mentally, it's challenging, and you have to be laser focused. So what I really do is work with people on overcoming fears, overcoming self-doubt. So it's a lot of mental skills training, but it's also just fabulous for self-esteem, self-efficacy. People really start to believe in themselves when they do complete their first triathlon. So it's a really exciting thing.
All right, well, Stephanie, I'm excited to put some of my endurance and triathlon skill training to the test. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that, because coming up on Good Day Columbia at 5:45, Stephanie's going to be teaching me a few things that I would need to know if I want to get into some triathlons. So anyway, stay tuned for that. I'm Lena Pringle reporting live in Columbia. We'll have more Good Day Columbia for you right after the break. Good morning, Candace. Well, we last left you were at Still Hope's Wellness Center, and we're joined with Stephanie Cain, who's the owner of Cain Coaching and a triathlon coach. And right now you can see the scene has tremendously changed since the last time you saw us. People are actually getting ready for a class. And so, Stephanie, what exactly is going on in here right now?
So right now we have our indoor cycling class. So in the winter months, it's dark and it's cold and it's not as pleasant to get outside. So what we do is we bring the cycling inside. They bring their own personal bicycles, and we hook them up to what are called bike trainers. And it turns your bicycle into a stationary bike. What we also have are these stationary bikes for people who either can't bring their bikes or have bikes in the shop or just aren't available at that time. So we bring the cycling indoors in the winter, and that's what's about to happen here.
So how important is this cycling training as a part of the overall triathlon training?
It's huge. Cycling is the longest, the most distance in any triathlon. So it's a sport that definitely requires a lot of attention and time. Cycling is very time consuming, so we spend a good amount of time on the bikes each week.
Gotcha. And so what are some of the common things that y'all are going to be working on as you get onto the bike to prepare and to train?
Well, unfortunately for this group today, we're going to do some race pace training. So that's one of the things that we work on, is building endurance at that race pace level. So basically what that means is not just going out and having a leisurely ride, that we're working on getting our heart rates up and sustaining that for longer periods of time each week, so that we build our endurance and we can race faster when we get to our race.
Okay, and so when race speed, so that means that for a certain amount of time they're going to go like all out as fast as they can, and then that's it, or how exactly does that work?
Some of the intervals are all out, and some of them are just below that threshold. So what we really do a lot of is training just at or below their threshold. So that means how long can they sustain a certain heart rate or heart rate zone. And so we're going to work on that today, and we usually use percentages. So that might be 75% of your max.
Okay, so I think for this last part of the hit, I'm going to hop on this bike y'all pulled out, and maybe I can go all out for, let's say, like 15 seconds.
Yes.
Okay, maybe how much time is left. Okay, so let's see. You get on the bike. Obviously,
absolutely. Yep. Get your feet in there.
Feet in. Okay, gotcha.
Good.
There we go.
And then start pedaling.
Start pedaling.
The gears are up here.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn you up a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to simulate a little bit of road resistance.
Okay.
So this would be kind of like a good road resistance level. Not too bad, right?
No, it's not too bad.
Feels pretty good.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, 15 seconds, all out. Ready?
Okay.
Go.
Oh. Okay, all out. 15
I'm
seconds.
turn you up.
Oh, you're turning me up. Okay. Okay.
You're doing awesome. 5, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. High five.
She did her triathlon.
All right. I'm going to keep practicing my triathlon skills right here on this bike. Reporting live from Stillhouse Wellness Center, Lena Pringle. Back to y'all in the studio.
Are you good?
Yes, good morning, Candace. You can do as many different things as you want in a triathlon. That's one of the cool things about this segment. We're really debunking a lot of myths around triathlons and triathlon training. And this morning we're at Stillhouse Wellness Center, where we're joined with Stephanie Cain, who's a triathlon coach here and the owner of Cain Coaching. So Stephanie, we've gone from cycling to now swimming, which is obviously one of the many things you can do in a triathlon. So tell us about the training that goes into it when it comes to swimming.
Absolutely. So swimming is probably the least natural sport for us as humans. So it's really intimidating. And people are scared when they think, oh my gosh, I have to swim, or I have to swim in a lake or the ocean. So one of the things we do is just go back to basics. How do you float in the water? We work on stroke form, making sure that people feel comfortable. So this is Taylor here, and he's kind of demoing a really nice freestyle stroke, which is the stroke that we use in a triathlon. Although you can use any stroke that you want. This is the most commonly used stroke, and it's the fastest. And so what he's doing right now is just a basic freestyle flip turn at the end, which you don't have to do. Yeah. And then he's going to come back, and we're going to talk about a little bit how to develop a stronger stroke by using some pool toys, is what I call them.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do these play into the training aspect?
Absolutely. So we have this red thing here is a kickboard and fins, which make you go really fast.
Gotcha.
And then we also have a pool buoy, and you put that between your legs, and it makes your legs float. And then what Taylor's doing right now is putting on some paddles. So this makes your hands kind of like duck feet, and you can really pull yourself through the water. But what it also does is it works on good form, because if you pull incorrectly or you use your arms incorrectly, it's going to pop that paddle off.
Oh, wow.
So it's like an automatic, immediate feedback for your stroke.
Gotcha. And so are those legal to use during the triathlon?
No,
dang it.
You can't use any of these things during a triathlon, unfortunately, because that would make life a lot easier.
I was going to say, that would make things a lot easier. So obviously we've shown people about cycling, and now we're showing people with the swimming. So what else goes into this endurance training for the triathlons?
Well, we run outside, and we also run in the pool. So one of the places I like to teach people running drills is in the pool, because it is low impact. So you're not pounding your joints. So when we first start doing running drills, I put everybody in the water.
Wow,
And that
okay.
way there's no pounding, there's no impact, and it's a great way to train because you're training in resistance. The water applies resistance to your whole body. So it's really cool.
And so obviously people have been watching this morning and they want to come out here and train with you and try to make their triathlon dreams come true. How can they do so?
Well, they can contact me. My email address is caincoaching@gmail.com, or I have a website, caincoaching.net. So you can go online, you can email me, you can call Still Hopes Wellness Center and they'll get you in touch with me. They also sell community memberships here. So people are just looking at the pool like, hey, if you're 55 and up, you can come swim here.
Gotcha.
So,
and quickly before we go, any words of encouragement for people who might be looking to try a triathlon that they might not think that they can do so?
just basically believe in yourself. You can do it. Anybody can do this. It just takes a little bit of time and dedication and a little bit of coaching, and you can do it. So just believe in yourself and never give up on your dreams, because it really is never too late.
Well, thank you so much, Stephanie, for debunking all those triathlon myths and really giving us a lot of good knowledge for people who might be interested in increasing their endurance and getting out here to try some triathlons. So that's another Wellness Wednesday watch for you. Remember, anybody can have a healthy lifestyle. You just have to try. Reporting live from Still Hopes Wellness Center, Lena Pringle. Back to you in the studio, Candace.